Hey, welcome to our P3 method group therapy. No, I was just kidding. We don't have to call it that. We don't have to call it that. Okay, just a second. Sorry about that. My wife had a question. I was actually just watching the markets here. So Tuesday I'll probably go through this a little bit tomorrow in my trading room with a trader on the street, but um, we basically started a short position down thinking that the market's going to start coming back down. I had a long position, and well, it did come back all the way up to those lows. Full recovery from that down day. I did not expect that, so obviously, yeah, I would have kept holding on. But that's actually a good spot to be selling anyway. It's a good spot to be waiting to sell anyway. Looking at these levels, these pivot levels. So I was able to take a little bit of profit earlier this morning. It was all the profit. I probably would have taken more profits had I been paying attention down in there. But it's recovered quite a bit from that spot earlier this morning. But I was able to take 150 pips or so. Did a little bit of trading on the dollar yen, but and so I had two positions here. I still do. Those are the same two that I started on Tuesday. Then right there at this price cycle line, I put three. And then this one up here, I put four. Um, when I took some profits, I took two of these and three of these. So that's why you still see one in the money and one right here. And then I added just a half an hour or so ago, I added two more right in here. So hi, Ollie. Um, Just gonna walk through a little bit here. Then if you guys have anything you want to talk about, just put it in the chat. Any topics or any concerns or anything like that. Well, I'm gonna leave it open for you guys today. Um, so right now I'm just gonna showing you what I've got on my trading. But if you have anything that you'd like to talk about, just let me know. Anyway, so I added these two right here, and then if the market comes back up, where this one is break even, I'll add three more again. So I'll turn that into so basically that'll be two, and then between this one and these ones, that'll be the three, right? And then right here, we'll have the four again, thinking that we're going to come back down. Now, if it does break this level here, I've got plenty of risk because it's a 0.01 for it to still come up, break this level and still come up, and then right around here I have a plan to add five. But I don't think I'm going to add more than that. I want to give it enough of a cushion. I know in my class I pretty much made this my cushion, my range, but I've got my stops way up there to give it plenty of room and and then to see if it comes back down, because then we could again take profits regardless of this smaller position down here it being negative. We'll still be able to take a profit by this scaling method that we have here. So um, that's kind of where I'm at with this one, and I'm doing the same trade on the challenge account, the skills account, very very similar. Well, that's too bad. I was really thinking about adding a couple more. It's pulled back down. Hasn't been a news or anything, has there? Interesting move there. But anyway, that's where I'm at. So I did a little bit of selling up here on the dollar yen, selling at resistance up in here, and caught a move back down into there. Nothing huge, just a couple of trades. just a couple trades there, and then add a little bit of pips. But other than that, just trading really small and slow in this account. I'm aiming for 1% a week. So on a 5K account, I just started trading on Tuesday. If I get to $50 by next Tuesday, that's kind of going to be my target. Now, it's not going to be in the past where like I have to. I'm changing my mentality to where I just want to stay in control of my trading at all times and stay in the positive and just see it steadily grow, right? And then I want to show, like I talked about in my class a couple days ago, I want to show Ron and Sean that, you know, I have shown them that I have good spurts of trading, but then I've had times where I don't do well at all and I need a reset. And then I do really well, and then I do bad, and then I do really well. And I've been funded 6 years, and that's been my cycle, right? It's just been really well, then I don't do too well, then really well, then don't do too well. I want to just change this consolidation to, hey, I'm going to do really well if I don't have a good trade, but I'm still going to be in control, and then I'm just going to continue to have this uptrend. And that's what I want to do for 2024. I, I hesitate to, put any type of like dollar amount um, as far as the capital, but I am hoping that my trading, the trading goals that I have, this mentality that I have, will result in a $50,000 account by the end of 2024. Now, I would be happy if it was also 25, somewhere between 25 and 50. But if the next 3 months, it's February, April, March. What about March? February, March, April, um, gets me up to maybe 10 grand. And then May, June, July gets me up to 25. And then August, September, October, November, December, somewhere in there could get me up to the 50, especially if I'm showing that consistency every single month. Then I could probably apply for that senior hedge fund senior trader. That's my goal. That's always been my goal. And really that outcome is dependent on, whether or not I can stay patience and discipline to the process. And so P3 method is going to be key because the P3 method works. The P3 method works. You just have to stick with it. The only problem with the P3 method is that uh, it's a little bit harder for aggressive traders. And there are times that I get aggressive because I want to make more money, and I'm trading larger amounts of money than this small 5,000. And sometimes it's hard for me to uh, go back into that mindset of trading a smaller account when I'm used to trading larger amounts. I'm risking $5,000 on a trade, in some of my accounts. And so, trading to get 50 bucks in a week seems what, you know? But again, I'm just trying to change my mentality, see the bigger picture here. And so that's something I would suggest for each of you is to find that that goal, that sweet spot. What is it that I want to accomplish, and then how is it that I'm going to actually get there? Is it going to be through, the right trade on the chart, or is it going to be through the patience and discipline to wait for the right trade at the right time and to wait for winners to develop, to to trade within my risk at all times, right? And so maybe actually I'm thinking about, maybe making a list of things to change your mentality a little bit. And then just so you know, in my meeting with Sean and Todd this week and Rex, uh, we mentioned that, hey, we should be having a boot camp here soon. Anybody got any ideas on what the boot camp should be? And I said, I think we should have a boot camp about the hedge fund, being a hedge fund trader. I think that's what the boot camp should be. And so we're looking at compiling uh, topics and strategies in regards to how to become a hedge fund trader. At least that's what the plan is going to be. If we have enough topics to cover on that, I'm pretty sure that, but Sean liked that idea for our next boot camp. So I know that that would help me. And so the fact that, I'm like, if I were if I were doing this and starting off, I'd want some expectations and uh, proper mindset, and this is how I'm supposed to approach this account, different than the Beeline. I don't want to go through the same cycle that I did before with the Beeline account. And if I want different results, I need to change. And so what do I need to change? What is it? What behaviors, right, do I need to change? But not just behaviors, because we know that our behaviors are what? Um, they're a manifestation of our emotions, our habits, our thoughts, and essentially all those are a result of our beliefs. Sorry, guess I should have put this on the whiteboard or something, typed it up. So I need to really change my beliefs. I need to change the way that I view myself as well. I need to be able to say, I can be patient and disciplined. I don't have to be impatient with the process. I can be consistently profitable by following this profitable, process that I have. That doesn't mean I'm going to be 100%, but I'm going to stay in control of my trades. I'm going to stay in control of my trading. I'm going to wait for the right opportunities. And sometimes that means just slowing things down a bit. And that's how I wanted to start things off with my hedge fund account. I wanted to start things off with more of a swing approach and not get into a frantic frenzy every single day. And sometimes that's what my trading feels like. Okay. So with that being said, you need to kind of look at your own situation and your own what's the word? What's the word I'm thinking of? Looking at where you're at on the path, so to speak, because everybody's going to be on this path here. Zoom in here so we have a blank screen here. There's this path that we're on, right? And where does this path lead? Right? We all obviously want it to lead, uh, to money. We want it to lead to more money for ourselves and our family. And so this path involves different things. You need to develop some skills, right? And that's what the skills challenge does. I mean, as far as specific trading skills, but it's gonna help develop these skills as well: patience, discipline. I would say faith when you're working on your beliefs, faith in yourself, okay? Faith in the process. Okay, and so it is going to require a different kind of patience of um, so let's say this one's results. And so what I would say you want to do with your training is we've got process versus outcome goals, right? Your process goals should be to stay in control of your trading and your risk. That's huge. Process goals. And then obviously your outcome goals should be flexible. They have to be. If you keep your outcome goals really fixed, then if you don't achieve them, it puts a lot of unnecessary pressure on your trading because then you feel like you have to be a certain place at a certain time. And quite frankly, we can't control all of that all the time. That's, but the slow way is the fastest way. I've said that many times. It really is. In all my experience, trading for results, trading for money, when I slow down my trading, it gets me to where I want faster. When I slow down my expectations, it gets me to where I want faster. If I have this frantic urgency to get into a certain money amount and I don't achieve that, then I tend to behave differently in my trading, and that tends to make mistakes, and I put myself in a worse position. Okay. And so part of the results here is um how do I put this? Not just results, but let's say qualification for more capital. We want to show the fund managers that we are consistent, disciplined risk managers. Okay. Let's put profitable in there too. Well, let's put consistent, disciplined risk managers and then profitable trader. Okay. That's going to be by staying in control. If I look at that for myself, it's just a matter of staying in control. Because I know if I stay in control of my trades, I'm not going to do something stupid to throw me off track. I know that with the skills that I do have, and we do need to maybe include that, trading skills, right? Scaling techniques, uh, identifying right setups at the right time, right? Okay. Um, but for me, staying in control of my trading is if I do that, I know that over time I'll be showing this qualification, right? And then when it comes down to it, you know, um, the end result is more capital. More capital to trade the same way. Okay. You're just adding a zero to your lot size, adding a different lot size, but it's going to be a path that I should actually draw like this. It's more like a path that spirals upwards, right? That's what it's going to look like, because you're doing using these skills to get certain results to show some certain qualifications. Then you could do, and get more capital, and then you're going to do it again and again and again. Okay, that's the idea. That's what we want to show. Okay. And then when we trade the same way, like I mentioned in my class, if you're only going for 0.2% as a result per day on average, that's just 1% a week, like I mentioned, just $50 on a $5,000 account per week. That's not that much. But if you're doing that, and now you have 50,000, that's an extra 2 grand per month in your pocket. And who wouldn't be happy with a 2K? Just needed to reply to that. Text my wife. The kids are doing a virtual piano lessons today, and they're trying to find some of the piano books. My wife was asking me if I knew where they were. I don't. Alrighty. So that's again, that's been what's been on my mind recently, and maybe in a way, the struggles that I have with my health has kind of put me in a position to reevaluate everything about my trading and making sure that I, don't um, you know, having a spout of bad health or distraction with work or something can derail you from your trading goals. And I haven't wanted to repeat a 2018. 2018 was a really hard year for me because my health was kind of similar to what I'm going through now. It's just very hard, and I tried to force a lot of my trades and trading, and then it made things worse. And so um, that experience actually helped me. That experience actually put me in a position now, right here, right now, to not worry so much about trying to make a ton of money right here, right now. I know that I'll start feeling better and I'll have better chances to make the money. And so our failures, my failures, I guess you could say my failures from past trading years have helped me learn to be more patient, disciplined today. So my past failures have turned into experience and hopefully wisdom. I'm not predicting that I'm gonna, you know, means I'm gonna guarantee make tons of money this year, but at least I'm not gonna lose a ton. That's like I did that year. I lost a lot more money than I should have that year. So anyway, so have an idea of what you want to accomplish, right? And it's kind of a review of maybe setting some goals, but what type of trader do you want to be? This is a very specific answer, maybe a discussion, a very specific discussion to uh, what we talk about in the P3 method as far as like developing your vision. So if we go back to the method map here, if we're talking about, what your purpose is, what your vision is, we have a very specific opportunity. And whether you're doing it with the Apiary Capital hedge fund or you're doing it with other trading challenges out there, we should approach it the same. And that's been my problem with some of those outside challenges. I'm just like, well, I could just always start again, and just pay it again. But I really need to look at this as, hey, this is my shot. I need to do it right. And so your vision is basically, yeah, we got this little path here. And what type of trader do you see yourself becoming? And if that's the type of trader you want to be in the future, why not start today being that trader, right? That if I'm going to be a seven-figure trader, for example, there's this so I'm a seven-figure trader. If I want to be that type of trader, then I need to act like it today, even though I don't have, I've never made $1 million in 1 year, right? I think over the course of my trading over the last several years, I've made seven figures. So I guess in a way I could say that. But I'm talking about like within a year's time, I want to be able to make $1 million. I want to be consistent enough that I can bring in that much money. And that used to be like so out of this world thinking. But I know that I've had months where I'm like, wow, if I did that every month, I'd be $1 million trader. So I know that it's possible. I know that it's possible. So for me, it's just a matter of, well, what is it going to take for me to do that? What kind of behavior? How much capital amount, right? What exactly is that going to entail? What does that actually look like, right? And so I can, from there, this is what I want to accomplish. I need to reverse engineer what that looks like. And one of those contributions, like one of the ways that that's going to happen, is me being successful with this hedge fund. And uh, And if I'm honest, and I look at my past results with the Apiary fund, like I mentioned, it's been up and down. I've been going back and forth on the path. I haven't made a ton of progress results wise, capital wise. As far as mentality and psychologically speaking, I think I've improved quite a bit. I've had my failures are turning into experience, which are helping me, have specific lessons about other things, that I run into in the future here. And so I'm still growing, there's still growth, but as far as the path towards wealth, I really need to step it up personally. So that's where I'm at. And I'd like to reiterate this quote down here. This profession is very hard. No profession requires more hard work, intelligence, patience, and mental discipline than successful speculation. So these are the skills that we need. The intelligence is part of that with learning our charts and our analysis and learning to evaluate our performance and our trading. Um, no profession requires as much than trading. I mean, I know there's a lot of hard jobs out there, but then you get into kind of just a habit. And I've talked to a lot of people about their jobs, and they talk about how, man, it's just so, you know, it's just so boring now. It's just like being on an assembly line. It's not challenging, et cetera, et cetera. This profession keeps you on your toes at all times. Doesn't matter how long you've been training. There are people that have been super, super successful. They get lackadaisical and they get blown up. It's such a hard. Okay. Well, this meeting time's got about 9 minutes left before it'll shut down. Do you guys have anything that you wanted me to touch on, or cover, or any markets we could take a quick look at? Just got a few more minutes here. I think again this discussion is a good reiteration of what we should be doing right here, right now to help us in our trading. It all starts with our beliefs and our mentality and getting ourselves prepared mentally and expectations wise and and then really focusing on what is going to help you in the long run. Is focusing on making a certain amount of money each and every day, each and every week, each and every month. Does that really help you progress? Obviously, we need to have some of those targets, but if that's where all of your focus is on your thoughts, it's going to make your trading a whole lot harder because of the psychological connections and emotional connections to our expectations, right? Any thoughts or comments on the topic? Everybody feel good about that?
Yeah. I'm good.
Okay, this helped a lot. Okay, good. All right. Well, I really appreciate you guys joining me today. Danny, we had a good discussion. Sorry, I got cut off last hour.
Oh,
But
yeah, that's fine. I understand. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Thanks again.
no, I kind of wish I was down there too. But we'll just continue to press forward, whatever it is that we're working on. We're all of our personal trading, all of our personal issues outside of trading that affect our trading, right? Like the one I'm dealing with with health, and some of you with health and relationships and family and work, and there's all sorts of things we need to juggle. And but just a word of encouragement. I know that if we're doing what's right and we're doing our best, we'll just continue to move forward and just have a positive mentality. And then worst comes to worst, I was telling Danny this last hour. So worst comes to worst, we're engaging in something that is really hard and has a lot of risk to it. And even if, when all is said and done, we don't achieve exactly what we hoped, like for me, a seven-figure trader or whatever, we gave it a shot. We dared to do something hard. We didn't settle for less, and we took some risk and we made life an adventure. And so if we have that mentality as well, it's going to take a lot of stress off of, there are people that have a really just good perception on life and just taking risks. And if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, keep moving. And I envy that gift, that talent, because I stress about everything. I need to really calm myself down. And so that's something I'm personally working on. So, all right, everybody. Well, I'm gonna sign off here. We'll post this, and then I'll post the link, the recording of our little discussion. And then if there's anything, again, if there's anything you need, don't hesitate to reach out to me via email. And again, I appreciate all the positive thoughts and vibes and prayers coming my way from all of you in regards to what I'm dealing with and trying to figure this out. And in the meantime, we'll just keep on trading on, and I'll keep on doing what I can to help you in your trading. Um, so yeah, hey, you're welcome. Let's see, is it a new P3 file? This I haven't done much with my P3 method map lately. So if you have a recent one, that should be um, you should well, let me see if I can just save this, and then I'll just post it in the chat if you want really quick. Let me just get rid of that. And then where is our method map file? Here it is. Okay, I don't know how different it may be, but it's uploading here if you want to download the method map here. And then, yeah, we're good to go. And today's Thursday. Hope you have a great Friday and a great weekend coming up. And just keep pressing forward with your trading. And again, let me know if there's anything I can do to help. Okay, everybody, thanks so much. Take care, and we will talk to you next time.
Thanks again. Bye.
You're welcome.